What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Financial Footprints Podcast. My name is Kolin Hayes. I am your host, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about net worth tracking. What is a net worth? Why should you track it? And how do you calculate net worth? How do you find out what your personal or your family or your household net worth is? So, what is net worth? Net worth is simply everything that you own minus everything that you owe. Your assets minus your liabilities. What you own, cars, houses, investments, stocks, bonds, etc. What you own minus what you owe. Credit card balances, mortgages, auto loans, etc. Later on in this episode, I'll break down more of what you own versus what you owe so you can fill out for yourself and find out for yourself what your household or what your personal net worth is. But that is simply what it is. Your assets minus your liabilities. It is a snapshot in time of where you stand net worth for you or your family. With it being the start of 2025, every single year I like to update my net worth on my comparative net worth tracker year over year to see, has it grown? Has it decreased? Why has it grown? Why has it decreased? Just to track my goals, because it is important financially to make progress year over year. And a net worth statement allows you to see, am I making progress year over year? That is why I find tracking my net worth very, very powerful. So how do you track your net worth? What do you do? Like I said at the beginning of this episode, it's very simple. It is your assets minus your liabilities. You can do this manually. You can do this on an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheets. You can go to Google and type in net worth calculator. But it is a very simple equation. Assets minus liabilities. So what are some examples of assets? Things that you own. Real estate. So if you own a house or investment properties, what do you own? How much is the value of that real estate? Now you can do Zillow and find the Zestimate and say that's what we're going to put as the value of our home, or you can put a manual number that you want to input yourself. But what is the value of the real estate that I own, personal or investment property? Next type of asset is bank accounts, savings accounts, checking accounts, money market accounts. What is the value of cash that I have? Now you might have cash that you hide in your bookshelf or under your bed. You could include that as well. But really, most people have savings accounts or checking accounts or maybe money market accounts that they have cash in. What are the value of those? Investment accounts, 401ks, IRAs, taxable accounts, retirement accounts, things that are invested into stocks or bonds. How much is the value of those accounts? Another asset you can include is cryptocurrency. If you have a crypto portfolio, what is the value of that portfolio? You also add in business valuation. If you own a company, what is the value of that company? That is an asset that you would include. If you have equity in a company, you could include that as well. Another asset to include is cars. What are the value of your cars? Now, of course, cars are depreciating over time. Every single mile that you drive a car, it does lose value, but it is an asset. It is something that you own. Personal property, jewelry, collectibles. What are the value of those things? Now, with personal property, you don't need to include everything. Like if you have a MacBook computer or an iPhone, I personally would not include that. Technically, it is an asset. There is value, but I don't look at those as things to put on my net worth. I'm talking more like jewelry, watches, collectibles, those types of things that you include in your personal property row for your assets. So you take all those things, real estate, bank accounts, investment accounts, business valuation, cars, personal property, add them all together. That is the value of your assets. Now we need to find out what your liabilities are, what you owe. So this would be things like credit card balances. This would be things like a mortgage, auto loans, student loans, personal loans, anything that you owe. Maybe you have student loans, still a loan on your car, whatever it is, anything that you owe, you would add up in your liabilities. Then it's a very simple math problem. All your assets added together minus your liabilities. And the answer, the solution to that math problem is your net worth. So if you own $1 million worth of things, but you owe $500,000, that means you have a net worth of $500,000. If you own $80,000 of things, but you owe $50,000, then your net worth is $30,000. It's a very simple equation to just find a snapshot of your financial life. Now, of course, if the year starts really good in the stock market and you run your net worth calculation and then 7 months later the market drops 20%, then of course your net worth in the future, 6 months from now, is not going to look as good. So keep in mind that a net worth statement, if you do it manually and you just track at the beginning of every single year, it is just a snapshot in time, especially if you're including investment accounts that will fluctuate day to day. It is just a snapshot in time. So it will change every single day. Maybe you have Bitcoin, right? That changes a lot, fluctuates quite a bit. So that will change your net worth every single day. But knowing what your net worth is and tracking it year over year allows you to see, am I making progress towards my goals? Comparing it to last year, comparing it to 5 years ago when you started tracking, or maybe this is your first time doing a net worth calculation, 2030, so 5 years from now, how much has my net worth grown? What has been the biggest driver to my net worth growth? Is it investments? Is it paying down my mortgage? Is it paying off my car loan? Comparing it year over year. That is what I like to do with net worth. Next year, do the same calculation. Everything that I own minus everything that I owe. Hopefully, it's a bigger number than what it was the previous year, but if it's not, that's okay, because we're not looking at just 1 year growth. Our goal is over our life, has our net worth grown? But I still track it for the next year, then the next year, then the next year, and I build a fancy Excel spreadsheet that puts out some graphs, some data, some annualized return numbers, just to see how has my net worth grown year over year. It is very good to track it year over year to see your progress in your financial life. This is the Financial Footprints Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.